welcome to Engaging Events. Today we have a very exciting show. My guest is Ari Paul Felber. Hi, Ari. Welcome.
Hi. Good. Thank you.
So
Welcome.
Nice
Thanks for having me.
To be here today. So, if you don't pay very close attention to the show today, you might just be missing a few tricks or some illusions, because Ari is an interactive magician and a mentalist.
That's right.
And so Ari blends comedy and improv into his shows. It's very exciting. We're going to talk all about what he does. And let's just start off by saying you are the entertainment at any event. And that's exactly what you do, right?
That's exactly what I do.
Everyone.
Everyone and anyone from 4 years old to 104 years old.
And so, right, children's birthday parties,
Yep.
corporate events. I know you've done a lot of charitable events.
Sure.
So, it really runs the gambit. And, you've really, you've come a long way. I know that you started doing magic when you were 12.
Yeah, I was about 12 years old. My dad took me to Las Vegas, and he treated me to about $40 worth of magic tricks in Las Vegas. And I was hooked for about 3 months, and then I lost it like any child would. And years later, I found that bag of tricks, pun intended, before I went off to college. And I learned one card trick from those tricks I had bought in years and years, 10, 20 years ago, and started doing it, and I became the guy on campus known as the magician, and I just flew with it from there.
Right, so you were about 22, and you found a way to kind of get back into perplexing and amazing all of your friends and actually get some gigs, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I started off working for free. I would work for anyone or anyone. You saw me on the street, I would stop and do 10 minutes of magic. I was obsessed.
So you would say, I guess I would say, because I've seen you out there strolling. You're a strolling magician at cocktail parties, and you do magic for schools and for camps and companies, and you magically appear at bar and bat mitzvahs and at weddings, and you you entertain all sorts of people, and you just make it happen. You have a unique ability to astound people. And I think that's what people like best about you. I mean, aside from your, warm and fun and personality, I think people are just taken aback, by your cool tricks. And I know that, in terms of your mentalism, that's always something that people are astounded by. I mean, the ability to kind of, look at someone and tell them the person that they first kissed.
Yes.
Or maybe, dig out the person that was their best friend.
Right.
And so people are amazed.
Right. I mean,
at how that happened.
It all evolved from magic. I started out doing sleight of hand magic, and the more corporate events I did and the more higher clientele I got, the more interested they were in the mentalism. So I've transitioned and I do a lot of mentalism. You said I do strolling magic, which is true. I walk around at cocktail parties and weddings and bar mitzvahs and corporate events and do strolling magic and mind reading. But I also offer a show now where I do a whole 30 to an hour show for everybody with tons of mind reading, and people look in books, think of words, I tell them the words, and it's just all the way through the whole show is just fun interactiveness, if that's even a word.
So is that something you practice, or it comes naturally to you? I mean, you're a little psychic, or I know that
it's a little of everything. It's a little of everything, Sometimes I just feel things. Other times, things I've learned from studying and putting in the work in.
Right, years of studying.
Lots and lots of studying.
So that's one of the things we were kind of talking about a little bit before the show. I mean, is there a particular magician that, you've grown up watching, or that you really feel is somebody that you admired? And
as I told you earlier, before the show, any magician or performer or someone that really inspired me is most likely somebody that you've never heard of. People go, do you like David Blaine? Do you like, this guy? No, okay, so there's a comedy magician, Greg Wilson, just completely loved what he did. He was really fun. There's a comedy magician, he's not doing too well from what I hear now, but his name is The Amazing Jonathan. And he just is hysterical, and I will just.
But what's interesting about what you're saying is that he's a comedy magician.
Right.
And so one
That's
of the
theme.
unique elements about the work that you do is that you enjoy bringing comedy into your acts and making people laugh and have a good time. And that is one of the things that's so enlightening and fun and unique and different about the kind of acts and shows that you do.
I mean, absolutely. As a performer, you're basically selling yourself. you're selling your personality, who you are, how you interact with people. I mean, anybody can sit there and read a book and learn a trick or whatever, but when it comes down to people are hiring is you. They want to see you, your humility, you know, how you interact with people, your kindness, your this and that. So I learned that along the way, that it's really more about who you are and how you make people feel than it really is about the magic.
And as you just mentioned, it's really nice and you know, and it's really great to be interactive in any event. And one of the things that I think is nice is that when you are out there and you're doing a corporate event and you have a room full of people from the same company, I mean, it's great because they interact as a group, and it really helps with team building skills, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, all the time. I've just been booked for a show at the end of October where I'm literally going to come in for the employees. Maybe it's like 100 employees, and they're going to have me do an hour-long show and just kind of talk about working together and you know, what it means to be on a team. So it's way more than magic.
And you know, I would say, hey, you have some very impressive corporate clients that you do some of these team building skills. You work with Comcast.
I do.
You work with Boscov. You work with Wawa.
Yeah, I mean,
QVC.
I just did a show for Pico, and I have another one coming up. Pico's hired me for 2 corporate events.
Yeah, as long as you're not electrocuting anybody.
I'm thinking of asking them for free electricity for this for the year, but I highly doubt that they're going to do it. No, just kidding.
Are there any tricks that are your favorites to do? I mean,
you know
if you've
what?
seen one of your shows, have you seen it before? I mean, a lot of times with magicians, people think, oh, I've seen that, but I guess you kind of keep your work fresh.
Well, yeah, no, definitely keep it fresh. And at some point, as a professional performer, full-time performer, a lot of what I do during a day-to-day is marketing and contracts and this and that. So eventually, the magic kind of takes a back seat a little bit. And you know, they tell you if you're going to do it professionally, you should know a small amount of tricks or effects, like the back of your hand, as opposed to knowing hundreds, but just somewhat well. So it kind of turns into more of a business, and I think more of a businessman now. I used to show up at a gig and just want to knock you out with magic, and now I'm saying, hey, do you have a company? Or you know, do you know anyone at other companies who does this? So I've changed a little bit from the performer into the businessman per se.
So it's become not just about the magic, but also about your personality, right?
Exactly.
And it's all
where
about
it goes.
who you are and how you present it, right? Because
Absolutely.
people say, not only is he a great musician, but he's a great guy.
Yeah. And I mean, that word of mouth is the best marketing tool there is. I mean, I could tell you till I'm blue in the face, I'm this great magician, you should hire me. But you go, well, what's he going to say? He's not a good magician? But if your friend says, Val, this guy was great, you know, you go, you're hired.
I think what's cool about being a magician is that you can essentially work anywhere.
Absolutely.
At any event. I mean, you basically work out of your pocket, you know, and you know, you can essentially start your trick in one room and stroll into another room if the weather changes. So, you know, I mean, I think that's very unique for hiring entertainment. Usually people are worried as, you know, what's your footprint in the room, and you know, how much room do I have to account for because we have only so much space. And it's nice because you can just stroll around and talk to guests. You can go from table to table. You can be in a cocktail room environment and, you know, really engage with the guests. And they like that.
That's what you're getting paid for, to engage. Like I said, I do a lot of the strolling, engaging, mingle magic, and I do the big show too. But it's all about that. It's all about connecting with people. I mean, that's why you're getting hired. You're getting hired to connect with people, make them smile, entertain them. Yeah, I mean, I've been asked to do shows, and they haven't been booked yet, but in California and Florida, and I could literally just throw a couple things in a backpack, and I got my whole show with me. So it's all about the person. It's all about the person.
What do you find that people are the most responsive to? I mean, is it the card trick that's right in front of them? Is it the quarter that, you know, like I remember when I was a little kid, my uncle used to pull a quarter out of my ear. I mean, is it the trick that comes out of your pocket? I mean, what is it that people are like, that's so cool, do something else?
Right. Well, I can show you something later, but a lot of the tricks I do with close-up leave a souvenir, whether it's a playing card with your name on it or a quarter with something going on with it. So I have people come up to me, they see me on the street, and they go, hey, you're the magician. I remember when you did this, and they pull out of their pocket, I still have this card or quarter. I still have this from 3 years ago. So it's different for everybody, but I do have a couple go-to tricks. You know, if the event planner that hired me at a big corporate, 600 people event, and I'm strolling around and says, That's the CEO. That's the guy I want you to entertain.
Right.
That's the guy I want you to impress. I have a special 2 or 3 things that I would always do for that moment.
Okay, well, I hope that you're going to tell me.
Are you the CEO of the company?
I am the CEO
Then you're
of the
getting
company.
the CEO tricks today, okay?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what some of that CEO treatment is. And as the event planner, I often have a lot of clients who ask me for entertainment, something that's different, and I
hear that a lot as well.
recommend a mentalist. And I think that the unique thing about a mentalist is, nobody ever walks away from an event remembering the skills of a dancer or a singer or a comedian. But a mentalism show, they never forget that.
Yeah.
It's usually a first-time experience for a lot of people in the audience, and they're always like, I can't believe he knew that.
Yes.
People are so taken aback.
It's a little more personal than magic, and I think that does catch people off guard.
Yeah.
Especially if you're revealing things about them that they know you couldn't know.
Exactly. So, you get the guests involved, but on the other side of that coin, I think oftentimes people are a little bit inhibited. What's he going to say? What's he going to tell me?
Oh, yeah.
I don't want my boyfriend to find out, certain things.
That's funny.
And I kind of feel like sometimes you have to put people's minds at ease that it's nothing that you have to be worried about. It's all in good fun.
Yes.
And it's lighthearted.
It's for entertainment purposes
Exactly.
only.
It's for entertainment
Yes.
purposes. We're not talking about who you slept with last night.
Exactly. Although I do have a great story about that I
Okay.
won't go into. But,
oh no, do tell.
Well, I was doing mentalism, and everything was going great, and we decided to play a little joke on the one lady. So her friends came up to me and told me this story about the first time she made out with a guy, blah blah blah. Something no one would know about but her and like her best friends. So I go up to her and I did a little mind reading with her, and then eventually I go, I'd like you to think of the first time you were romantic with someone. And they told me it was at a naval yard. So I said, I see an airplane. And she goes, oh my gosh, how did you know that? How did you, like when you get personal with people, they really freak out.
Right.
And I tried to tell her, she was like, how do you know? Your friends told me, leave me alone. She goes, no, they didn't. How did you know that?
Right.
It hits home, it's powerful stuff.
That's true, because a lot
gets
of
her rehired,
times
too.
people think, you met them before the show.
Exactly.
You
People will say it, they go, wait,
conspired with
yeah,
them,
they come
or
up with these
the
crazy
person
things.
Who set up the show.
Yeah, you
they
told
called
them,
you, and they
exactly.
told you, and you kind of have
Yeah.
to, really almost prove.
At that
you,
point, it's like, yeah. It gets pretty wild, though. Yeah.
I know it does. So, we are going to continue speaking with Ari when we come right back from this commercial, and we're going to have an opportunity to take a look at some of his cool, fun, unique tricks. So, stay with us.
From our family to yours.
RVN TV is a platform for people of any industry to share their story. Over 285,000 viewers are tuning in to RVN TV shows monthly. We guarantee a great experience that you'll be sharing with everyone you know while increasing your personal and company's brand awareness. But what is your brand? According to Forbes, it's a combination of your logo, your product, your design and feel, and your personality. Did you know that aside from being a guest, we offer even more opportunity to boost your brand? Adding your company logo and website on screen during your interview will allow viewers to recognize your brand instantly. Incorporating images and video clips is another great way to showcase your product during your live segment. Let viewers see how good you really are. And most importantly, there's you and your interview. For less than the cost of a newspaper, direct mail, or a magazine ad, you can leave our studio and within 48 hours have a permanent digital copy of your live segment to link to your social media, embed into your company website, or use in email marketing. Investing in your brand is so very important, and we can't wait to have you as a guest.
Shelter dogs aren't broken. They've simply experienced more life. If they were human, we would call them wise. They would be the ones with tales to tell and stories to write. The ones dealt a bad hand who responded with courage. Do not pity a shelter dog. Adopt one.
say we've got grit, and we'll take it as a compliment. Because it's our uncommon drive, our spark within, that brings us together and sets us apart. We are Temple made. And when others take shortcuts, when others take breaks, when others take the easy way, we take charge.
Add us on social media to watch bloopers behind.
So welcome back to Engaging Events, and I am here with interactive magician and mentalist Ari Paul Felber. And Ari turned his hobby into a career, right?
Yes, yeah.
And so today he's talking about all of the tricks and entertainment and illusion that he does with magic and mentalism. And so one of the things that we're going to do, and I don't want anyone to think that this is any part of an illusion by television, because I am here with him live, and he's going to show me some of the fabulousness that he does right here with me personally. So let's see what you can
A little
whip
bit of
out
magic.
and show
Well,
me
I
a
hope
little
the
bit of
camera
magic.
can see this.
I hope so too.
But I do something here, and the question is, do you like money?
Well, I mean, who doesn't like money?
Right.
Right.
Well, I really do hope the camera can pick this up. But how much money did you see there, roughly? How much money did you see?
$5.
$5, yeah.
$5.
This is the magic part. Have a look, Val. 20.
Look at that.
40, 60, 80,
So let me just
$100.
say that they were all $1 bills, and then instantaneously they were all $20 bills.
Yeah, and the thing is, before you ask, the answer is yes, it does work with your money.
It does work with my money?
It takes about 10 to
Okay.
12 business days. So you should probably just give me all your money now.
And you can convert
And we'll
them
meet
all.
back here in a
All right.
couple months,
Can you-
minimum of 1,000.
I'll meet you
You're not going to do it, are you?
Next week, right?
Now, we talked a little bit about mentalism stuff, and this is a little bit of a mentalism thing. I'm not going to read your mind, but I'm going to do something really cool. You were asked to take out a quarter earlier, yeah? If
Yeah.
you would, take out a quarter.
So these
and,
are my own
And it's
quarters.
Val's quarter, it's not my quarter. I actually made her do that just so she didn't think I have some sort of magic quarter. And I mean, do I look like someone who would do that, Val?
No.
Don't answer that. Put your initials on the quarter, that way you know it's the only one like it.
Okay.
Fantastic.
As you were saying, these are the things that people hold on to.
This is one of them. And on the
Okay.
other side, write down your social. Valerie, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just joking.
Am I really
Write down
big
any
on the
number you'd
whole
like.
quarter?
Write down any number you'd like. That'll make it the only quarter in the whole planet like it. We can no longer have two of them.
Okay.
Because now you've marked it on both sides. Would you agree
Okay.
with that?
Yes.
I'm going to get rid of this. If you would, just make sure the ink is dry. Give the quarter, blow on the quarter. Make sure the ink is dry.
All right.
Great, 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 great. Now, we've got VZ, of course, for Valerie Zaza. And was the number 66?
Yes.
Is there a reason why?
That's the year I was born. I mean, I don't know if I should be telling everybody that, but that's
You're
the
looking
year
great, Val. Val, hold your hand up. Now, this isn't mind reading, but you notice something about your quarter if I go slowly here.
Oh my God, it's bending.
That's a little mind power. Have a look, Val. That quarter
It's
is
bent.
literally melt in half now, isn't it?
It is literally bent.
It's literally bent. I've had people come up to me 4 years, and they come up and they go, oh my gosh, they take out their wallet.
Is that your mind or mine?
Together. We did it together, Val. We did it together. Do we have time for one more?
Well, yes,
one
I
or two
mean,
more here?
yeah, absolutely,
We're not in a hurry here.
absolutely. No.
This is kind of cool. This
I'm
is
gonna
more
hold on to
mentalism.
this.
Please do. Next time I see you, you better
Putting it back
be all
in
happy
my
that you still have
bag
it.
of
Yeah, yeah. You can't spend it, unfortunately. You know, just so you don't feel. I went to the bank and I said, is it legal for me to ask my clients and people that I perform for to write on currency? Because people worry.
Right.
And they said, of course it's legal to ask. Doing it's still illegal, Val, but at least it's your initials, not ours.
Okay.
No, Val, I'm kidding. Val, what I'd like you to do is think of a number between 1 and 100. Don't tell us what it is.
Okay.
Would you be amazed, Val, if I wrote down your number?
I would.
Guess what?
What?
So would I. I'm not that good, Val. Not that good. I'm going to try something a little different, Val. I'm going to write something down, and then I'm going to show you something on my cell phone. I'm going to put this here. I don't want you to see that quite yet.
Okay.
But I'd like you to remember that I wrote that down before you ever said your number.
I didn't
So
say
it's
it.
right. So it's not like you said your number and then I scratched it down. Seeing as I can no longer change what I wrote, Val, for the first time, tell us what was the number you thought of. I'm going to show you something on my phone. What was the number?
73.
Okay. And is there a reason why?
Absolutely not.
Perfect. Are you somewhat familiar with an iPhone?
Not really.
Not really. That's okay. This button here with the yellow top says Notes. Please
Okay.
hit that button. Perfect. One of the notes there says Celebrities. Can you hit the button that says Celebrities? I'll sit back down with you here. It's a list of 100 people that are famous. You can scroll through it and make sure they're all different. Make sure it's a normal list, Val. All the names and numbers are different. There's no duplicates involved.
I just want to say it is a list of all these celebrities, but number 73 is Tom Cruise. I
Is
don't know
Tom
if that
Cruise?
has anything to
Well,
do
that
with
was your
this
random
show.
number, right? You said
It
Tom
was.
Cruise. And then, but all the other names and numbers are different, yeah?
They are. They're all different.
And 73 says who?
Tom Cruise.
Do you remember I wrote something down before you ever said 73?
Yes. Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you can see that.
It says Tom
It
Cruise.
does say Tom Cruise.
That's so cool. Awesome. It's a good thing I can read the small print.
I know.
love that.
You have great eyesite.
That's
I can hardly
great.
read that. Yeah, and that's mentalism. And all the big corporate events I do when I'm being paid to really impress somebody, I do this one card trick, and I like to show it to you. I like to show you the
Yes.
last. If this is the CEO comes over, or the marketing manager who hired me says, "Hey, Ari, that's Mike, or that's Joe, that's Ryan. He's the big dog.
He's the big Mahat.
He's the guy paying
Right.
you, basically. He's signing the check type thing."
Right.
This is one of the main things I like to do. I'll do the quarter thing. I will do the mind reading, but this is a magic I like to do. It's a
Okay.
pack of cards, and they're all different. The jokers are in there. It really is just a normal pack of cards. Val, if you would take out any card you'd like.
Okay. I
Very
know my
good.
son does this with me all the time.
Oh, does your son do magic?
Yeah, well, he
Is he going to
tries.
steal my job? Remember the card? Show it to the
Okay.
camera. Don't know if you can
You
pick that
guys
up.
see what this is?
Oh, yes, you can.
Okay.
I'll take it face down.
Okay.
I'm not trying to peek in the monitors. Would you be amazed if I could mix the cards and make your card jump up to the top? Would you be amazed?
I would be amazed.
You don't look amazed, Val.
It's not my card.
Well, I never said I could do it, Val. I asked you if you'd be amazed. But if I blow on the 6, it would turn into the 5 of spades, which is your card.
Wow.
But here's the big
you have
finish.
amazing blowing capabilities.
Thank you so much. I'm going to leave that right there, Val. You write your name on there, similar to the quarter. That makes it the only one in the world like it. Now, here's what I do. The big boss is watching. The heat is on. This is what I'd like to do. Okay. You can see, Val, your name is on there in permanent ink, yeah?
Yes.
We take Val's card, put it there. Would you say that was about the middle of the pack, roughly?
yes.
It jumped to the top, Val.
Look at
It
that.
jumped to the top. I'll do it again. Take Val's card, put it about 3 or 4 cards deeper in the pack, yeah?
Yeah.
And it will still jump back up to the top. I'll do it again, Val.
That's
I put it
amazing.
way down at the bottom, right? Down at the bottom, fair? It jumped back up to the top. Here's the big finish, the one that fries them all.
Right in front of me. I'm watching him.
Yeah.
I'm
The big one that
not
fries.
really seeing it jump.
The big one that fries them all, Val. Yeah? That's a compliment to me that you don't see it. Do you see it?
Yes.
Val, you push it in. Great. You know where it goes for the big finish?
Right on top.
In my mouth. And that's when the guy gives you the $100 tip, you know? That's when they start.
I'm so sorry.
That's when they go, hey, you available next year for our event in Florida? You coming out for that?
That's great.
And that's a souvenir as well with the quarter.
Thank you.
Next time I
Thank
see you, I expect to see those both.
That's really, really incredible. I mean, what type of tricks do you enjoy doing the most?
You know, it's funny. Really, when you have a good crowd. I feel like the crowd. You know, if you have a bad show, I always would blame myself. You know, I'd say I should have done something better. But you know, it's great. You know, sometimes you get these corporate events and people have a couple glasses of wine and they're just hanging out, and I get to go on stage and just kind of do an hour or whatever, and it's just really, really fun. People are laughing, having a good time. Anytime that it's a good crowd.
I mean, is there one? I mean, you did tricks with money, you did tricks with cards, and
Yeah.
I mean, is there one particular trick that's really your favorite trick to do?
Not really. I just like to entertain. I like to perform, so it doesn't really matter what I'm doing. As long as I'm being able to interact and make people laugh, that serve people, give them something.
I mean,
that's,
you know, and
that's what
you
makes me
said,
go.
like, when you started, this was a hobby. I mean, did it take
Oh, absolutely.
you a long time to really
gets
practice
there, I mean-
and perfect these
Yeah,
tricks?
you know.
Because, you know, it's really sleight of hand, and you're so close to me.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it's really, I mean, it's amazing. I didn't see anything.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you could sit there all day and you could learn this stuff and practice in your office or your room or whatever, but it's not until you get out in front of people
Right.
where you hone it. It's really the only way to get better in front of people is to just do it. I mean, I had things where I bombed, you know, and I go, I'm never doing this again. And eventually I did, and then you learn. You live and learn like anything else.
And I'm sure people must ask you all the time, oh, come on, tell us the
Oh,
secret.
yeah, they do.
How do you do it, right?
I always joke around and say, you know, for $1,900, I'll explain the whole thing. And then they go, no, it's cool, we're good.
But
No,
seriously,
sometimes people want to pay.
Do you ever reveal any of your secrets?
You know what? I don't. I do, however, teach magic. In fact, I'm starting up again
okay.
at a friend's school in Philadelphia next Wednesday for my second term with them, teaching magic to elementary students.
So just to students,
Yeah.
no adults.
I would teach adults. In fact, I plan on maybe pitching some colleges on a magic course. But yeah, but I mean, the tricks I teach the kids aren't like this. You know, they
Right.
get the basic stuff. But
Is it like move the knot on the string?
stuff like that. Yeah, I don't do that, but stuff like that. Yeah, with rubber bands and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean that's fun because, you know, I think every kid loves magic. They're always mystified.
Oh my gosh, of course,
and, you
yeah.
know, they love to see
It
that.
seems to be that 90% of kids have had a magic phase at some point. They
So-
never last, but
Right.
they get hooked. They see some trick.
It does
Yeah,
with
then some of us
Right,
end
there
up
you
doing
go.
it for a living.
Absolutely,
Like the
absolutely.
0.1001% of us, like me.
So are you still learning new magic tricks
I'm always
today?
trying to expand them. I'm pretty happy with my set list for all the shows I get booked for. Typically, I do corporate and like family shows at country clubs and stuff. So the shows that I get the most bookings for at the moment, I'm pretty good with what I can do. So it's more about marketing and all that.
So is there anything that you find, the most challenging to do?
You know, every once in a while you get a crowd that just doesn't want to play, if that makes sense. And you really got to, do your best to get them going. So that can be challenging. Sometimes it can be a corporate audience.
I can understand. You really
Yeah.
got to bring it out.
You got to work for it. They're not just going to like give it up. They're like, oh yeah, what else you got? So it's fun.
Well, Ari, you have been amazing. I really want to thank you so much for
Yeah.
joining me today, for entertaining me and all of you. If you are planning an event or thinking about what kind of entertainment you would like to have at your next party, interactive or mentalism, Ari Felber might just give your party that magic touch. So you can find out more information about Ari at www.aripaulentertainment.com.
That's correct.
Next week on Engaging Events, we will be talking about the Philadelphia Fringe Arts Festival, which is currently being celebrated across the city of Philadelphia with 1,200 performances this month. I will be joined by a board member of the Philadelphia Fringe Arts Festival and a talented young actress who is currently performing in an independently produced performance. So please join me for Engaging Events next week at 3 o'clock right here on RVN TV. Have an eventful afternoon.